Niels Bohr. Niels Bohr was born on October 7, 1885 in Copenhagen, Denmark. Most of his life would be spent in Denmark, and Copenhagen would be the place of his death. His research would span many topics, but the most important would be his atomic studies. Bohr had a theory that electrons jumping with low energy could produce quantum light.
Bohr proposed a theory that the hydrogen atom, based on quantum theory, that energy is transferred only in certain well-defined quantities. Electrons should move around the nucleus, but only in prescribed orbits. When jumping from one orbit to another with low energy, a light quantum is emitted. Bohr's theory could explain why atoms emitted light in fixed wavelengths. Nobel Prize, 1922.
He was one of the first to picture and present an atomic structure. One part of his picture included the outer electron shells and the nucleus in the center.
Bohr's model, like many others, showed a positive charged nucleus. One thing that Bohr's model had that others didn't were outer electron shells. This model shows the first three shells, represented by X, 2X, and 3X. Each held a different amount of electrons. The first would hold the least, and as they go on, they could hold more. So in this model, 3X would hold the most. The different amount of electrons in the shell are referred to as energy levels.
It took many years and studies to make this picture. In 1911, Bohr observed the work of J.J. Thomson in Cambridge. A year later in Manchester, Bohr developed a theoretical piece of work about the absorption of alpha rays with Rutherford. In 1913, using his and Rutherford's studies along with Planck's quantum, Bohr had finally presented his first picture of atomic structure. His model showed the electron levels, which he observed that the levels of energies were fixed and that the shells were at an equal distance. This picture of the atomic structure would later be improved. Part of the reason it was improved was because of Heisenberg's studies and ideas in 1925. Due to this improvement, still serves as a clarification of the elements. From 1913 to 1916, Bohr had held multiple lectureships at both Victoria University and at Copenhagen University. He was also head of Institute and Professor of Theoretical Physics in 1920 at Copenhagen University. In 1922, Bohr was recognized for his work in the structure of atoms and received a Nobel Prize. By 1930, Bohr and his institute were dedicated to researching the constitution of the atomic nucleus. In 1936, he pointed out how small of a region that nuclear processes take place. Later in his life, Bohr addressed some problems in quantum physics and published around 115 different types of literature. Bohr would also later escape a Nazi-occupied Denmark during the Second World War to Sweden and left to the United Kingdom and the United States near the end of the war and worked on the atomic energy project. He still worked with atomic particles in a peaceful way instead of helping develop nuclear weapons. Some of Bohr's accomplishments include his presidency in the Danish Cancer Committee, Royal Danish Academy of Sciences. He also had multiple positions in academies in foreign countries and the Royal Society of London. Bohr's final piece of work would be unfinished before his death. His final piece translates to Light and Life Revisited. Bohr died on November 18, 1962 in Copenhagen, Denmark.